Hey everybody, it's Mike, and I am back with another show. And I got a lot of things I want to talk about. I really don't know where to start. Um, so I'm going to start with the opening, and we'll get this out of the way. And here we go.
Hello?
Hello.
All right, so I wanted to get to a few things I want to talk about. The main thing being how the Hare Krishna Cult likes to claim that it is scientific. Everything is scientific, as you can see on the thumbnail. Their books, a lot of their books and a lot of their lectures are about science, the science of self-realization, that this process is scientific, the chanting is scientific. In fact, on this Hare Krishna webpage, where I get a lot of my information from, here it even says, they have, um, it says here, the scientific evidence of the human soul, and it says here, science proves the soul, and then it's got a link to some video, and they want you to think that, I don't know, some bullshit. But I guess since I'm at this webpage, I want to start, because I have other things I want to talk about, because it's all one big stinky pile of shit. And so while I'm at this webpage, I do want to show you one of the things um, that they say here. So this guy's talking about a bunch of stuff, the same stuff he's always talking about, is blabbering about so many things. Hey, Pass. Hey, Pass. Hey, how you doing, man? Good to see you here. Um, so he says here, because as I've said before, that Prabhupada was a Holocaust denier. He denied that Hitler killed 6 million Jews. He said that Hitler was a gentleman, that Hitler was the good guy in World War II. He said that Hitler had atomic weapons and that he didn't use them because he was a gentleman, and that the U.S. was the bad guy, so they used atomic weapons. And this is Prabhupada talking. Okay, so hey, how you doing, Glenn? Thanks for the emails, very encouraging emails that you sent. So Prabhupada was definitely he didn't like Jews. He was anti-Semitic. He was pro-Hitler, and he was definitely. Hey, how you doing, Raphael? I got your emails as well, and I've been watching the videos. Um, but on this webpage, so Prabhupada was very much pro-Hitler. I don't know how else to say it. He was pro-Hitler. If you read some of the comments that he said about Hitler, if you look through the database, he says the things that I just said, which to me sound pro-Hitler. Okay, I don't know how else. I don't know how else to say it. So some of these Hare Krishnas actually go as far as to be, hey, how you doing? To be pretty much very racist and white supremacist, and they very much follow the Prabhupada's pro-Hitler stance. As weird as it is, they do. And so right on this guy's webpage, he says right here, he's complaining about some other devotees around the world But he says this right here, and it caught my eye, and I just wanted to bring it. I just wanted to mention it because I feel like I need to say something about this because. So he says, where is it here? Incredible. Okay, he says. So he's talking about. Like I said, some of these guys are whacked out. They're Nazis. They're Hare Krishna Nazis, okay? And I don't know how else to say it. And maybe some of you ex-devotees, you know what I'm talking about. So he says here that this one person, he says, is like a broken clock. He's right some of the time. He says, no Jesus on the cross or World War II swastikas in the books of Srila Prabhupada. I think he gets it right on that issue, but is wrong, however, when Srila Prabhupada says that Christians are still killing Jesus. That does not refer to killing Jesus. He is talking about they're still killing cows for their beefsteaks. I don't know what he's talking about here about all this. I have no idea. But he says this person seems to confuse these two issues. And then he says here, but yeah, do not add things to the books that are not authorized. He says this other person and me got off on the wrong foot when he and this other person were promoting their Third Reich shall rise again anti-Zionist bankers program. I think we all know what that means. And then the author of this webpage says, not something we should promote in public. So it seems like his problem with this is that he's bringing it up in public and that he feels it shouldn't be brought up in public. This whole Third Reich shall rise again anti-Semitic bankers program, because we know what that means. Not something we should promote in public. So I guess he's saying this is something we shouldn't talk about this. This is something that we promote in private. I guess that's what he's trying to say, is that we promote this in private. We don't talk about these things in public in the same way that Prabhupada said to Satsvarup about the things that he said about the Negroes. He told Satsvarup, this is not something that we should repeat in public. So Prabhupada knew that what he was saying about the Negroes was not something that should be repeated in public. That people wouldn't like it. People didn't like his sexist things that he said about women's liberation and women having small baby. He got a lot of feedback. He got a lot of blowback from that when he said that. So he knew, you know what, I say a lot of things about the Negroes, but better not to repeat those things in public. Probably, at least Prabhupada knew that. And here, this devotee saying the same thing. He's saying, hey, with you and your Third Reich, anti-Semitic, promoting this Third Reich will rise again, anti-Semitic bankers program. You shouldn't be. We shouldn't be talking about this in public. We should keep this in private. That's what it sounds like to me. Prabhupada was. What does he say? He says Prabhupada was educated in Scottish College of Calcutta, so was a year older than Subhash Chandra Bose. Right, and he was a follower. He was plotting with Hitler to overcome England and India, and Bose met with Hitler personally in 1942. Yeah, so Prabhupada was under the philosophy that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So Hitler was fighting the British. The Indians wanted to be free from the British. Hitler was fighting the British. So naturally, Prabhupada just accepted that Hitler was their friend because he was fighting. They were fighting the same enemy, the British, and that was Prabhupada's attitude. So Prabhupada says, well, Hitler was a gentleman. Hitler was a good guy. Hitler didn't kill 6 million Jews. He just killed a few thousand that were in jail, which is kind of like that was kind of like the official Nazi line that they were feeding. That was their propaganda. It's like we just executed the ones that were in jail. We're not doing anything. Yeah, those, you know, this is what these guys are promoting, and I know who he's talking about. These devotees that are radical Nazi thinking, white supremacist thinking, end of the world thinking, doomsdayers, all of that. So let's see. What else do I want to talk about? Because I wanted to talk about that a little bit, but that's all I really got to talk about. That they're racist. They're Nazis. These guys are. He's saying we shouldn't be promoting Nazis in public. It might not be a good idea. We should keep that to ourselves. Just so you devotees out there that don't know, we're giving you a shortcut into the world of what these people think and what they do and what they believe. Because it's not gonna come right. I mean, sometimes it comes right out, depending on who you know, who you're talking to, who you're discussing with, what you're gonna get. But of course, I got. Hey, let's see. Got a bit of an update. Well, I sure hope it's a good update. I hope it's something positive. I hope. I can't wait to hear because I want to get him out of there. I want him to come on the show and talk about how they got him and how this all happened. But yeah, let's hear what's going on. Well, I'm I'm like I'm all ears. I can't wait to hear what's going on. But in the meantime, though, I guess where is I'm going to be picking my brother up from the Gita Nagari farm so that we can do a family trip. That's great. I hope that's great. I'm glad that he's willing to give you time away and that you can get him now. That Gita Nagari farm is where I've never been to that place, but I know about that place, and I know a lot of people that have been to that place. Anything I should know about this place? It's safe to go and pick them up. Yeah, it's safe to go and pick them up. They're not going to kidnap you and keep you there. They're not going to hold you hostage. It's not that type of thing. I don't think. No, they're not going to do that. They wouldn't do that. They're not going to. You're not in any danger. But I think that's great that he's gonna go ahead and he wants to hang it because he's hearing every day how he should not be associating with non-devotees. That's what he's hearing. He's hearing that all the time. How they're just they have bad habits, they're unclean. I mean, look, when I became a devotee, I had devotees telling me what other devotees I shouldn't be hanging around with because these other devotees had a reputation. And I'd say, "Oh, I know this. I know this devotee," and they would look at me and go, "Oh, that guy? You know him? You shouldn't be hanging around that guy." Say it's Sarvabhauma. He was one of the big time book distributors. Big time. I mean, he was like a celebrity when he was. And then when I met him, he was just a drunk on the street, just hanging around. He was just an alcoholic guy on the street, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's Sarva. You probably shouldn't be hanging around Sarva because if you're hanging around Sarva, that means I didn't drink. I wasn't drinking beer, but if you were hanging around Sarva, then they just assumed that you were drinking with him because that's what he did. He drank. So there were people that they were like, oh, you shouldn't be hanging around with this devotee. You shouldn't be hanging around that devotee. You should be hanging around with this devotee. So you can imagine what they say about non-devotees. If you just have a job, they're like, oh, you go to work every day and you sit with karmis and they eat their hamburgers and they talk about all their things they watch on TV and the movies that they're and you're hearing all this and you're watching them and you know to a Hare Krishna that's they're like how do you do that? How can you do that? Because to them it's like Pleasure Island in Pinocchio or whatever, they can't handle all that temptation. They can't handle all that temptation. Um, so the fact that he's willing to go out and voluntarily go out and hang out with you and go on a trip with you or whatever, he's going to spend time with his family. So there might be something going on there where he's like, you know what I mean? I need some time away from this. He might be thinking, you know what? Maybe I need to get my head straight or something. I don't know, but it does sound like a good sign because if he was if he shouldn't be wanting to hang out with you guys. He shouldn't be wanting to go on a trip with you. He should be wanting to go to India and milk a cow. That's like the goal, and he already did that. So he might be having some little cracks. There might be some little cracks happening where he's like, you know what, I might need to go think about stuff before I take the next step into this whole thing. But I do want to share this video of one of my favorites is the knitting cult lady. Let me see. Let me get this going here.
This is so funny to me when people are trying to.
Oh, can I get her? Here we go. And then I want to make me small. I want to get small. Okay.
Defend the cult that they're in as a good cult, and they of course don't know that there are no good cults. This one, I think they're talking about LGATs, large group awareness trainings, Landmark, LST, and anything that ends in Oni Robbins, that use cheap magician tricks to get you to feel like you've had breakthroughs, cult tricks. And someone here says, it's obvious brainwashing, but you consent to it through participation to get the desired outcome. So thank you, Captain Obvious. That is true with all brainwashing. We buy into our own indoctrination. All brainwashing is consented to by the participants. It's very, very hard to brainwash people without them buying in. You don't know you're buying into brainwashing, just like you don't know you are joining a cult. But these kinds of groups that openly talk about, yeah, we're brainwashing you, Alcoholics Anonymous, bad news bears, run. When a group is making a joke about being a cult or acknowledging that they're a cult, get the F out. Okay? If they were actually helping you have good desired outcomes, they wouldn't have to use the cheap magician tricks. Why cult tactics if not a cult? Yeah. The little ones know. I'm Daniela, scholar of cults, extreme groups, and extremely bad leadership. I wrote a book called Uncultured about growing up in the Children of God religious cult and then going into the cult of the U.S. Army, to whom I also say, why so cult-shaped? You can get signed copies attached here or listen to me read it to you on Spotify Premium or anywhere else you get your audiobooks. This is so funny to me when people are trying to defend the cult that they...
Okay. All right. So let me get back full size. There we go. She's great. She just knows everything about cults and all their ins and outs, and she explains it. She explains everything very well. So um, let's see. True. Once got sick and could not distribute books for almost 2 weeks. Town president to send me home to my parents to get well. Yeah, it's yeah. I don't know. I'm curious to see what's going on because he probably shouldn't. He shouldn't be He shouldn't be spending time with it. If everything was right and everything was going perfect, and he should have no desire to go home or to spend time with you in your family and all of that. I mean, I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm just saying how it is. He really shouldn't. He should. He shouldn't have anything. He shouldn't want to have anything to do with you guys. So that's a good sign. It's a good sign. She is awesome. Yeah, she is awesome. She says a lot of things that I say, which, and she knows what she's talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. So to hear her say the same things that I'm saying is kind of a good sign that I'm on the right track. I guess it's a good sign I'm on the right track. Now, so those that are not in the cult, those that are in the cult or ex-cult, know that one of the big cons of the Hare Krishna thing is that this is scientific. That the holy name, it's all based on lies. But the lie, it starts with this is a 5,000-year-old ancient tradition, and it's scientific, and it's part of Indian culture. It's part of it's Vedic, comes from the Vedas, and this is all bullshit. So it's not Vedic. It's not 5,000 years old. It's not an ancient tradition. It's none of that. And it's not scientific. They want you to believe that it's scientific, that somehow there's science behind this. The chanting. Now, I'm not saying that vibrations and sound vibrations can alter your states of mind, things like that. Totally possible, and it could even be proven. I don't know, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these magic words, these magic mantras that if you repeat them and chant them, that somehow transcendental knowledge will enter your head, and then you will understand these higher concepts or whatever nonsense they're talking about. How somehow you'll understand how these mythological fantasy stories are somehow real because you're chanting these, and it's somehow scientific. Just like this guy wanted to say that science is going to prove the existence of the soul or something like that. But science has proven it, or some weird thing. They want to make this scientific so bad because then it's like, well, you have to believe us because it's scientific. And Prabhupada says it over and over and over again about how this is scientific. It's the science of self-realization. It's the science of the soul. It's the science of God. It's the science of the holy name and all of these things. And it's all a bunch of bullshit. There is no science. I've seen this guy's videos a lot on YouTube. Why he's so obsessed with the Hare Krishna group. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about me? The fuck are you talking about? You're talking about me, why I'm obsessed with this child molesting piece of shit cult that destroys people's lives? What the fuck? Is that what you're talking about? Get the fuck out of here. Son of a bitch. So these idiots, they want to talk about how everything is scientific and everything is scientific, and then you get a load of this guy. This guy comes along. Let's see. Whoop. This guy. I mean,
so why do devotees do certain, or like things which are just like bizarre and irrational? For example, you can't go on the altar if you have stitched clothing. No one has ever explained to me scientifically why stitches are impure. And there are pictures of Prabhupada installing Radha Krishna, worshiping Radha Krishna with sewn clothing, but it's just some old book in Sanskrit says something, or someone heard something from someone in India, and then what Prabhupada actually said is ignored, or what Prabhupada actually did but some baseless superstition travels like wildfire all around the ISKCON world. So why do devotees do certain, or like things which...
This guy has no self-awareness at all. This guy is, oh, that's a little me. There I am. There was research on the benefit of singing and sound vibrations, apparently. Yeah, I'm not saying there's not. That's what I meant to say. There's that sound vibration and singing and dancing and a lot of things can help your mental state or change your mental state. That's what I'm trying to say. But there's nothing scientific about the chanting of Hare Krishna or these mantras or any of these Vedic scriptures or Vedic hymns. There's nothing scientific about it. There's nothing scientific about it. And so, but here you've got this character, this guru. He's a guru, and I did a thing just about him. And so here he's saying, so evidently you can't go on the altar and perform puja on the altar if in sewn clothes that's been sewn with a needle and a thread. Hridayananda, yeah, it's Hridayananda. So he's saying that there's a prohibition against going on the altar with sewn thread, that for some reason you can't go on it. And okay, now check it out. Now he's saying, where's the scientific? Who's ever shown me scientifically why you can't go on the... Well, where has anyone ever shown me scientifically that there's a demon head eating the moon? Why aren't you putting the same analytical thought process with wearing sewn clothes on the altar to some of these other fairy tales? Like, you're questioning the scientific... You're questioning this prohibition about wearing sewn clothing on the altar, but you're not questioning about a demon head that eats the moon? You want scientific evidence that wearing clothes that's been stitched with a needle and thread somehow alters your worship of the deity, and yet you don't want any scientific evidence that there's a goddamn demon head eating the moon? And you went to Harvard? You went to Harvard? You want me to accept the fact that you went to Harvard and you got some degree? Because you got to be smarter than me if you went to Harvard, because I couldn't even get into Harvard. But I know that there's no fucking demon head eating the moon. And you're sitting there telling me, arguing about whether I should be wearing whether you should be wearing sewn clothes on the altar or just a plain piece of cloth? And you're asking about the scientific nature of that? Are you out of your fucking mind? Can you believe that this guy went to Harvard? This guy went to Harvard. This guy went to Harvard.
Or like things which are just like bizarre and irrational.
Yeah, they're bizarre and irrational.
For example, you can't go on the altar if you have stitched clothing. No one has ever explained to me scientifically why stitches are impure. And there are pictures of Prabhupada installing Radha Krishna, worshiping Radha Krishna with sewn clothing, but it's just some old book in Sanskrit says something, or someone heard something from someone in India, and then what Prabhupada actually said is ignored, or what Prabhupada actually did, but some baseless superstition travels like wildfire all around the world.
Okay. Second thing he says. He went to Harvard. Okay, so I think they use the word scientific to avoid questions or challenges because scientific means it has been objectively proven. Right, they want to control the narrative. They want to control the words that they use to describe what they want to use the way they want to use it, when they know good and well that there's no scientific evidence for anything, whether stitched clothing or chanting or mantras, uh, what to speak of any other thing, crazy thing that they want to say. So you may feel like you're getting something out of it. I understand what you're saying. They're claiming stuff is scientific. Yes, they claim it. They want to claim it so it'll sound authoritative. Hey, this is scientific. It's the science of self-realization. They want to use these words to control the meaning of the word, whether it's anything that you like. You've both just given a great example of how you can, I think they're using the word scientific to avoid questions. It could be. I think they're using the word scientific because they want to just be able to, yes. So what it is they can claim it for many different reasons and just muddy the water. When we know what science is, we know that there's a periodic table of elements and that there's scientific theory and there's laws of condensation and laws of thermodynamics and laws of different physics and trigonometry and geometry and all these different things that go in to the study of science. And science means doing an experiment and then repeating it and the same results every time, and you examine the results and then you can change things and see if the results are the same. There's a scientific process that we learn like in 7th grade or 8th grade. You're like 12 or 13, you're learning about science. You're learning about looking through a microscope and that there's things that you can't see, and that you're learning about different theories that different scientists have proposed through history. This is all basic stuff. We know what science is, but they want to say, well, maybe science is just, you feel something and you experience it, or well, maybe science is so that way you don't ask whatever. They want to control. They want to control what science is. They say, hey, this is scientific. Well, then it's scientific. And that's why I'm here to say bullshit with their science and scientific, and this is science, and this is... And this guy's got the nerve to sit there and say, show me something scientific that shows me that I can worship. Well, show me something scientific that if I offer a flower to a statue, something's going to happen, whether in this life or the next life. How is that scientific? That I wave some incense around in front of a statue? Where's the science behind that, Hridayananda? But you want to know about the science behind the stitching on someone's clothing. That is what gets to you. You got to hang up on that as to why someone has that prohibition, but not why a demon head is eating the moon. And you went to Harvard. You fucking give me a break. Any of these idiots sit there at this guy's feet like he's somebody. And the same thing goes for this guy. Same exact thing goes for this numbnuts. I don't even know. I don't want to hear the bullshit, but we'll just cut right to the middle of it. Look at this guy.
But mostly Russia, Ukraine. And then in 2013, I decided traveling. This isn't doing me any good. And I don't think it's really what the community needs either. So I settled down. Devotees in Ukraine had made some arrangements, so I stayed there. And I lived in Ukraine for 4 or 5 years until 2019. I came back thinking, I came back to get some documents and then go back in 2 weeks' time. That was 2019. I haven't been back since. There was a problem with the documents, and then I had a very serious health challenge, and then COVID, lockdown, then the war, like that. So in the meantime, I'd been sculling around London, different places, that were available, and then that flopped. And then somebody in Wales here said, well, there's a mobile home. You might like to stay here.
What a bunch of bullshit. What another scammer. I don't even know who this guy is. I have no idea who this guy is. I think he's a Narayan Maharaj scammer. But listen to him. He's like, oh, I went to Ukraine, and I did here, and I went to London, and then the COVID hit, and then, I was just kind of bumming around. I don't know what he did, a couch tour. He was sleeping on someone's couch. These guys. In his orange outfit, thinking he's some kind of holy man or something. What kind of holy man is slumming around London, sleeping on someone's couch, looking for a motorhome to? What kind of life is that? Just cosplaying for this, cosplaying just to why? Because you got nothing else to do? Because you don't know how to do anything else? It's like a carnival barker that doesn't know how to do anything else but stand there and say, step right up and win a prize. He can't do anything but do that. That's all he can do. And he's good at it. He can stand there and say, step right up, throw a ball at the bottles and win a prize. He can say that all day long. And people will step right up and throw the thing at the bottle and they win a little prize. And he can do that all day long. So he ends up doing that his whole fucking life. That's what these guys are doing. Step right up. Step right up and wash my feet. And I'll give you the kingdom of God. What did that girl lady say? I said, what the fuck's this guy doing for you? He's giving me the kingdom of God, she said. The kingdom of God. You think you're in the kingdom of God because this guy is sitting on Zoom and chanting and you're blithering, laughing like a blithering idiot? You think that's the kingdom of God? You might as well go to the carnival and throw a fucking ball at the cans and try to knock them over and win a friggin' teddy bear. You're just as delusional. What is the kingdom of God? And that's the scam. That's the scam. No different than knocking the balls over. And if you can't knock the balls over, that's your fault. Who cares that the game is rigged against you? Who cares that the cans are weighted at the bottom and you're never going to knock them over? And that the ball's got a weight inside so it never goes where you want it to throw. It's going to go somewhere else. Your chances of knocking those cans over is like zero. But you don't know that. And hell, you knock two of them over. You only got to get that next one off. You got to just keep chanting. 16 rounds, man. How many years you been doing it? I don't know. I'm at 60 years. Well, time for you to go have sex with your disciple then. You've been doing it long enough. Freaking disgusting. What a sorry state of these folks. Yeah, Hridayananda. Hridayananda doesn't even want to wear the guru. He wants to be a guru, but he doesn't want to wear the guru thing. He doesn't want to do what it takes to be a guru. He just wants to be a guru. He wants to be worshipped. He wants to be, he wants everyone to call him Maharaj. He wants to have the fancy name. He wants to, he wants to do all of that. He wants to sit on the chair and he wants to lecture people. He wants to get donations. He wants all that. But he doesn't want to live in a temple. He doesn't want to wear the clothes. He doesn't want to he doesn't want to be like the traditional guru. So he wants to be, he's like Gora Haridas. Srila Gora Haridas. Like, I'm guru. I make up my own rules. I do whatever I want. Prabhupada came to me in a dream. Prabhupada came to me in a dream and told me, so now I just do whatever I want. Same thing with this guy. Same thing with this guy. Oh, Narayan Maharaj was... What the fuck, Narayan Maharaj? What the fuck is that? I mean, I know who he is, but I'm saying, rhetorically, who the fuck is that? Narayan Maharaj. Cosplay. I think I'm going to steal that. Perfect way to describe. They're cosplay. Scientology is cosplaying. They're cosplaying as like movie theater ushers. I don't know what they're cosplaying as. Scientology, they got the usher vest. They look like they're going to get you a seat in the theater. they're gonna check your ticket stub and walk you down to the row and with a flashlight and get you a seat. That's what Scientology looks like. And they all got their little uniform. And these guys are totally cosplaying. They're cosplaying like they're 16th century homosexual Bengalis. running around like they're Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They all think they're Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that in a minute too. I'm gonna get to that. But I wanna well, you know what? Maybe I'll skip this and go right. So I want to do a little. I'm gonna do a little Chaitanya Charitamrita class. Okay, we're gonna do a little Chaitanya. I'm gonna be Srila Gaura Hari Das. I'm gonna be Srila Mukunda Das. Okay, Srila Mukunda Das. Don't laugh, but we're gonna do Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we're gonna do it's the Antya Lila, chapter 5, verse 15. Okay. So we're gonna do the whole thing. We're gonna do Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Staya Vitale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami. Fuck all that shit. That's all a bunch of bullshit. Don't ever say these prayers ever again. Okay. So let's see. It says here from the Veda base. Okay, this is from the Veda base. So you know where I'm reading this right from Prabhupada's book. This is coming right from Prabhupada's books, and those of you Hare Krishnas know, probably ex-Hare Krishnas know, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this is part of the story of Ramananda Roy, and I'll comment on this as we go, because this is a doozy, and but we'll get to this. So it says chapter 5, text 50. So it says. Translation, he says, please sit here and wait a few moments. As soon as he comes, he will execute whatever order you give him. So what this is Pradyumna Misra was looking for Ramananda Roy. I believe it was. No, it was Pradyumna Misra. Yeah, so it was Pradyumna Misra was wanting to meet Ramananda Roy so he could talk to him. So he goes to look for him, and so he says, wait here, Ramananda Roy will be right with you. And so he says, so this is text 16. He says, well, Pradyumna Misra remained seated there. Ramananda Roy took the two girls to a solitary place. Translation, with his own hand, Ramananda Roy massaged their bodies with oil and bathed them with water. Indeed, Ramananda Roy cleansed their entire bodies with his own hand. Okay, text 18. Translation, although he dressed the two young girls and decorated their bodies with his own hand, he remained unchanged. Such is the mind of Ramananda Roy. Translation, while touching the young girls, he was like a person touching wood or stone, for his body and mind were unaffected. Translation, Srila Ramananda Roy used to act in that way because he thought of himself in his original position as a maidservant of the gopis. Thus, although externally he appeared to be a man, internally in his original spiritual position, he considered himself a maidservant and considered the two girls gopis. Okay, so I'm not going to read the purport, but basically, so Ramananda Roy, so this goes back to what I've been saying for a while now, is that your original position, your original spiritual position, the science of self-realization, what you realize when you reach that point of self-realization, what you're realizing is that you're a little 11-year-old girl who goes down by the river and has sex with Krishna. That's the goal of life. The goal of life is to have sex with God, is that Krishna has sex with you, and you're an 11-year-old girl. So here, Ramananda Roy, he thought of himself in his original position as a maidservant of the gopis. So Ramananda Roy didn't think of himself as a gopi. He thought of himself as a maid, one of the gopis' little girlfriends, that helper friends, right? His original position as a maidservant of the gopis. Thus, although externally he appeared as a man, internally, in his original spiritual position, he considered himself a maidservant and considered the two girls gopis. So, in his original position, he considered himself a little girl. He's a little girl. Well, that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. I don't even understand this story because I don't even believe this story actually. I don't believe this actually happened. I believe that this is all made up. But anyway, it says here, next verse, text 21. The greatness of the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is exceedingly difficult to understand. Sri Ramananda Roy is unique among them all, for he showed how one can extend his ecstatic love to the extreme limit. I don't understand how that shows how he could extend his ecstatic love to the extreme limit, because this dirty old man was bathing and massaging two naked young girls. They're claiming that he had felt nothing from it. If you want to believe that, it says the next verse is, Ramananda Roy directed the two girls how to dance and express the deep meaning of his songs through dramatic performances. Translation: he taught them how to express the symptoms of continuous, natural, and transitional ecstasies with the movements of their faces, their eyes, and other parts of their bodies. Through the feminine poses and dances they were taught by Ramananda Roy, the two girls precisely exhibited all these expressions of ecstasy before Lord Jagannath. Then Ramananda Roy fed the two girls sumptuous prasadam and sent them to their homes unexposed. Every day he trained the two Devadasis how to dance, who among the small living entities, their minds always absorbed in material sense gratification, could understand the mentality of Sri Ramananda Roy. Yeah, dreams and prophecy syndrome is a vast subject. Yeah. Now I know where was inspiration coming for Bhakti Vidyapurna ex-Swami from ISKCON Mayapur. Freaks. I mean, so who can understand the mentality of Ramananda Roy? I think we can all understand. I think we can all understand the mentality of this guy. It's not hard. It's not hard to figure out what this Ramananda Roy was all about. Okay, I mean, it's not a mystery to me. I got him pegged from the very beginning. I know exactly what he's up to. I know what he's up to. Okay, you got me fooled. You got me fooled for a moment. I'm not stupid. I'm not dumb. Okay, so let's go on. When the servant informed Ramananda Roy of Pradyumna Mishra's arrival, Ramananda Roy immediately went to the assembly room. He offered his obeisances to Pradyumna Mishra with all respect, and then, with great humility, spoke as follows. Sir, you came here long ago, but no one informed me, therefore I have certainly become an offender at your lotus feet. My entire home has been purified by your arrival. Kindly order me what I can do for you. I am your servant. Pradyumna Mishra replied, I came simply to see you. Now I have purified myself by seeing your honor. Because Pradyumna Mishra saw that it was late, he did not say anything else to Ramananda Roy. Instead, he took leave of him and he returned to his own home. The next day, when Pradyumna Mishra arrived in the presence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord inquired, have you heard talks about Krishna from Sri Ramananda Roy? Pradyumna Mishra thereupon described the activities of Sri Ramananda Roy. After hearing about these activities, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to speak. I'm a sannyasi, he said, and I certainly consider myself renounced, but what to speak of seeing a woman? If I even hear the name of a woman, I feel changes in my mind and body. Therefore, who could remain unmoved by the sight of a woman? It is very difficult. He says, the two professional dancing girls are beautiful and youthful, yet Sri Ramananda Roy personally massages their entire bodies with oil. He personally bathes and dresses them and decorates them with ornaments. In this way, he sees and touches the private parts of their bodies. Nevertheless, the mind of Sri Ramananda Roy never changes, although he teaches the girls how to physically express all the transformations of ecstasy. And this is all coming from Prabhupada's books. This is all on the Veda base. And so basically, if you want to break it down with what I just read, is that, this guy goes to talk to Ramananda Roy. He's told, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells him, hey, if you want to hear about transcendental topics, go talk to Ramananda Roy. So he goes to talk to Ramananda Roy, and his servant tells, hey, sit right here, he'll be right with you. He's busy. And then Ramananda Roy is actually off, takes these two girls off, and he goes and he bathes them and he washes them and he touches them, and then he teaches them how to dance. He teaches them these feminine poses and dances, and then he basically oils them down, touches their private parts, which it says he touched their private. I don't know why they had to put that in there, but they put that in there, that he was touching their private parts. I guess he actually. And I guess they put that in there to prove a point, that he not only did he see them naked and dance with them and oil them down and massage them, he actually touched their privates, and he was still unfazed. He had nothing. He didn't have any impure thoughts. Because I'm Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and even if I just hear a woman's name, I freak out. So the fact that Ramananda Roy could actually touch the private parts of these two naked girls, and he's cool, means how, that he is just full of transcendental ecstasy. This guy, he's awesome. These are the kind of stories that they're talking, right? 11-year-old girls, they make the best wives. This Ramananda Roy, he can control himself around these young girls. He can see them naked and touch them. He touched them. So Ramananda Roy touched them. Why can't Lokanath Swami touch a little girl? Why can't Indrayumna Swami touch a little girl? Why can't they can touch them and they don't feel anything? I don't feel anything. So what if I'm rubbing my hands all over the little girl and touching her and having her sit on my lap or whatever? Ramananda Roy did it. He was in ecstasy when he did it. But it's scientific. It's scientific. That way, because it's scientific, there's no way that an 83-year-old guru who's been practicing Krishna consciousness for 65 years, there's no way he could fall down, because it's scientific. Oh, wait, sorry. There's no way that Rameshwar would run off with an underage girl, because, he was a guru, for so many years, and Prabhupada appointed him. He had direct time with Prabhupada, face to face. Prabhupada was talking to him. He's right there. He's on the letter. He was one of the 11 guys. There's no way Rameshwar. Oh wait, yeah, Rameshwar did run off with a young girl. Yeah, but it's scientific, though. It's so scientific that it can fail at any moment. That's how scientific it is. They want you to believe it's. And that's how they use the word scientific. It's scientific, but yet there's nothing scientific about it. It's the science of self-realization, but where's the science? Indra Yumna Swami is touching little girls left and right. Doesn't think there's anything wrong with that. Bhavananda's touching little boys left and right. And all these other gurus, and I don't even know their names because I've been gone for 12 years, but I know those old timers. There's a lot of new ones that I don't know. Lokanath, but there's other ones too. There are new ones all the time. There's these guys that are coming out getting caught every day. But it's scientific. It's the science of self-realization. Just chant more. Just chant more, Prabhu. Just trust me, Prabhu. Just chant more. And if you fall down and you get caught with a little girl, just chant even more. You know how crazy that is? How stupid that sounds? And then they're going to turn around and say, well, all the kids that were molested in the schools, well, that was their karma. It was their karma. It's their karma. Same thing with Trivikram. It's his karma. It's his karma. Maya is strong. Maya is stronger than the holy name. He can chant the holy name for 60 fucking years. 16 rounds, 64 rounds, 16 rounds, 32 rounds, 64 rounds, every day for 65 years and still fall down. But it's scientific. Because, hey, Ramananda Roy, he was able to do it. He was able to touch those little girls, touch their privates, teach them how to dance, give them a massage with oil. This is what's in their books. But, there's nothing wrong with what Ramananda Roy did because he was physically expressing all the transformations of ecstasy. Yeah, right. Sure he was. Sure he was. And then they're going to blame the victims. That's your karma. And I'm going to tell you that's what religious people do. This is going to get me over to my next video, and I'm going to show you how they want to the disgusting way that cults do this. And this is what Hare Krishnas do the same thing. They do the same thing, and that's why it's relevant, and that's why I'm showing it. But I'm gonna show this here, and let's see. Here we go. Where is it? I hope there's no commercial in here.
Hi guys,
there it is.
our friend Caesar is connected to the company network when he gets a message from Brutus saying anyone up for the movie.
Here we go. Oops. Oops. What happened to her? More problems. Okay. I don't know. I'm having problems with my computer. It started acting up. It's still acting up. I don't know. I can't get this to go. No, it's not working. Okay. But a lot of times what cults do is they will blame the victim. And they blame the victims for not being a good enough cult member, or it was in God's plan. It was God's plan for that to happen. It was in God's plan for all those little girls to get killed in that flood in Texas. A lot of these religious people are coming out and saying, well, it was God's, it's in God's hands. They're with God now. They're with Jesus now. And it's like what I've been saying. It's like a death cult. It's a death cult mentality where death is the ultimate. It's the ultimate sacrifice that you give. You have to be willing to give your life for the cult. Otherwise, what good are you? You think we just want you to push a shopping cart around Costco selling these books? We want you to put your life on the line when the time comes. Well spotted, part of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. What a bunch of shit. It explains a lot. The list is so long. You know, it really is. Like, when you're in the cult and you're listening to it and you're hearing these verses and you're reading these purports and everybody's in there and everyone's in this Hare Krishna world, you don't see it the same way. You don't see it the same way. And even if you go, well, that's kind of weird, it's got that Hare Krishna filter on it. Like, you can't even think. It's offensive to think that Ramananda Roy was a dirty old man and he was touching these little girls, touching their privates. Well, why did you put that in the story? I mean, why did you put that in the story? Because that's what the story's about. Why do we need to? What are we learning from this story? That a dirty old man can hang around with naked little girls, and if he keeps his mind right, it's okay. Well, who said it's okay? What I can? What are you saying? That because I chant a lot, I can go massage and bathe naked little girls? Is that what you're saying? That it's so scientific that that I can, if I chant enough rounds and I get spiritually advanced, that it's okay for me to go take a bath with some little girls? And it's okay? I mean, what is the point of this story? I mean, what's it teaching? Let me think. What am I learning from this? That Ramananda Roy is so spiritually advanced from chanting Hare Krishna. He chants Hare Krishna so much, and he understands the philosophy so much that he's able to go take a bath with some little girls, and he's fine. You want me to believe that? First of all, you want me to believe he took a bath with these little girls and everything was fine? Just the whole thing is really kind of creepy. The fact that you're using the story to try to teach me something is kind of creepy. The fact that you think that this story is teaching me something is kind of creepy. The fact that you share this story in public or in a group setting, you all read it together and get off on it, that's pretty creepy too. I mean, this is a pretty weird story about this guy. And they're cleaning it up. Because probably 1,000 years ago, or whenever this was written, well, it wasn't written 1,000 years ago, 300 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, when whoever wrote this imaginary story, this was probably pretty risque. This was probably some risque stuff, right? It's like a cave drawing with, instead of drawing, it's like a cave drawing, but instead of drawing, a guy with a spear killing a mammoth or something, it's a guy with a big dick or something, it's like, that's a little much, guy. Do you have to draw the big dick? It's like they put this in this book. It's like, hey man, come on. It's like, this guy's bathing these little girls. I mean, come on, man. Why are we reading that? What's going on here? I understand the chanting Hare Krishna and everything, but this guy's touching little girls? What's up with that? But hey, it's transcendental ecstasy. Whatever that means. and they want to, and people want to know what's wrong with the Hare Krishnas. And people want to come in like, what's this guy got up against the Hare Krishnas? This crap. 11-year-old girls make the best wives. Ramananda Roy taking a bath with these little girls. Saying women like to be raped. Women are less intelligent, have a small brain. Homosexuals come out of the ass of Lord Brahma. My friend Jagjivan committing suicide because he's a gay man sucked into a destructive cult that brainwashed him into believing that he was a demon. He had to kill himself just for the betterment of Prabhupada's movement. He needed to just kill himself. Like, he couldn't just leave. Never heard that Chaitanya story till now. Really shocking. And as you say, what is the spiritual learning from it? Yeah, I've said that about a lot of stories. Like, what's the spiritual? Like, what's the moral? What's the gist of it? What are you telling me? What am I supposed to be gleaning from that? What is that nugget of knowledge that is nestled inside this story that I'm supposed to get? And I could never get it. Like, well, I don't get it. It's just the chanting and the holy name. It's a great point, actually. Imagine a newcomer arriving in a Hare Krishna temple and asking for this verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita to be explained. Yeah, I mean, they don't read Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? You got to read that on your own, or in your own class, or your own. Go to Gora Haridas. He has a class where they read Chaitanya Charitamrita, and they all sit and giggle and cry and do all whatever crazy shit they do. Because you got to be crazy. You got to be crazy to read this and think that there's some spiritual meaning behind this. This is Bhakti Vinod Thakur's wet dream of a friggin' pornographic escapade in the Chaitanya Charitamrita or something. I don't know. I don't even know who wrote this. You want me to believe that there was some guy named Krishna Das Kaviraj or whatever, Kaviraj Das Goswami, whatever his name was? You want me to believe that guy wrote? You want me to believe there was a guy with that name who sat down on the side of the Radha Kund? Because I've been there. And I've been to his little hut, supposedly his little hut with his name on it. You want me to believe that's real? I feel like I went to the mystery house at Knott's Berry Farm. And Lincoln slept here or something. I mean, come on. You want me? It's like when I went to Krishna's birthplace, and you walk in there, and there's like this, and it's supposed to be this is where Krishna was born. Like, come on, man. This was built in 1952. You gotta tell me that this is where Krishna was. But anyway, that's what I'm talking about. The audacity of these people that they're going to say that this is scientific. Oh, it's scientific. So if I chant Hare Krishna, I can go massage some 11-year-old girls, take a bath with them. Is that what you're trying to tell me? What is the point of this? What is the point of Ramananda Roy? What is the point of you telling me that Ramananda Roy did this with these little girls? Even Pradyumna Mishra was like, "Oh my God, what's going on here?" Pradyumna Mishra was like, "Hey, you're with these little girls, and I don't know, man. Something's going on here." So that's that's what's going on with these people. So. Have you ever heard the story of the great devotee that plucked his eyes out because he couldn't control himself around a woman? Yeah, that's I think that's in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. I think Lord Chaitanya tells that story. Does Lord Chaitanya tell that story? I think Lord Chaitanya repeats that story about the Brahmin. It's so ridiculous. These guys are supposed to be spiritually, like Lord Chaitanya. He's supposed to be spiritually advanced, but he can't be around women. These gurus are supposed to be spiritually advanced, but they can't be around. They can't be around women. I wanted to. So my friend Rafal sent this video, and I wanted to play. He said, "Look at this one part. I want to look at this other part. Let's see this. I'm going to play this."
Hare Krishna Gurudev.
Hare Krishna, Sri Madhava Mahotsav.
Jai, nice to see you. A reflection. Last weekend at Venice Beach, there's this lady. She's kind of like an artist / maybe she's a little bit destitute, homeless, but she always comes with the Harinam when we're walking for a couple minutes, and then she kind of drops off. But last weekend she picked up books, and she just started spontaneously handing them to people. Distributed 25 books. It's just the power of the holy name. See how she's advancing in Krishna consciousness.
Wow. Prabhupada writes about that in the Bhagavatam. He said, because we go chanting here, there, and everywhere, people to imitate the chanting. And he said, then he noticed some people, they even shave their heads. And this is also, Yadabaso Pyudyan Kabalita Bhavadvanta Vibhavo, Drisham Tatvandanam Api Dishiti Bhakti Pranayinim. Rupa Goswami says that even if people are completely blind to the truth, they don't know about Krishna, they don't know any tattva at all. But when they hear Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, just the light of that power, the powerful light of the holy name, it opens up in their heart a feeling of bhakti. And then they want to do some service.
It's such bullshit. It's such bullshit. You know what? It doesn't open up anything. It doesn't do anything to anybody. When they're out chanting Hare Krishna on the street, yeah, it attracts attention because people are like, "Who the fuck is this? What's making? Who is that? What are they doing? Why do they look all goofy?" And yeah, it attracts attention, and that's the point. Don't be surprised that you gather a crowd because you got a bunch of shaved heads and you're wearing a bunch of robes and you're banging cymbals around and you're chanting. I mean, come on, don't act surprised that type of activity is going to generate a crowd. That's exactly why you're doing it, is to generate a crowd and for people to go, "What the hell's going on?" And yeah, people are going to go, "What the hell is that?" But you know what? So what? If a bunch of people got together and stood around and yelled and screamed, and we're not chanting Hare Krishna, but we're chanting something else, and they were all dressed the same, but they weren't wearing Hare Krishna clothes, but they were wearing something else, and people would gather around and watch. It's not anything mystical or magical. It's not a magical mystery tour. It's not Krishna coming down and making this crowd appear. Bill Mangala Thakur. Was that it? Yeah, I guess it was. I forget. It's been so long since I've been 13 years. He wrote. I think he wrote a book or something, a couple books about Krishna, about ripping his eyes out. I guess he could call him the. He was the Van Gogh of the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. So Van Gogh couldn't have the woman, so he cut his ear off. Bill Mangala Thakur, he didn't want to see a woman, so he pulled his eyes out. So he was pretty much the Van Gogh of the Gaudiya Vaishnava. Gaudiya Vaishnava. I mean, can you imagine that? You ask a girl out on a date, and she's like, "No, I don't want to date you, Bill Mangala." And he's like, "Oh, well, God damn it!" And he pulls his eyes out. It's crazy. That's friggin'. Well, see, I don't feel so bad. Jagjivan, he just killed himself because he was gay. Here, Bill Mangala, he just ripped his eyes out because he didn't want to have sex with a woman. He didn't want to look at a woman. So that's more confirmation that cults cause mental illness. I mean, if you're going to rip your eyes out because you don't want to look at a woman, that's crazy. That's absolute crazy. But you get these Hare Krishnas down in Venice Beach, and of course you're going to get some crazy people that are going to come up, and they don't know what's going on. They're crazy. The homeless crazy people. Not that homeless people are automatically crazy, but sometimes the two are together in one person, homeless and crazy. Especially down in Venice Beach. And they're down there in Venice Beach. You got a lot of crazy people that aren't homeless in Venice Beach, but then you got a lot of crazy and homeless. So yeah, so I've been in Venice Beach with the Hare Krishna so many times, hundreds of times. Hundreds and hundreds of times I've been in Venice Beach. And yeah, the crazy people come down there and they grab some books and everybody. It's nothing magical or mystical. It's nothing Krishna did or nothing. It's insane when they think that the hand of God is always involved in their book distribution, but yet protecting their kids, Krishna wasn't so involved in that. Krishna could come down and direct a crazy person to distribute 25 books in Venice Beach, but when the little kids are praying to Krishna to save them from Bhavananda or Danadar, Krishna doesn't hear them. Krishna's like, huh? What? Who? What's that? This is how they think. It is karma. Why didn't Krishna come? If Krishna is always involved with his devotee, and Krishna is always there to protect him, and Nrsingadev is always there, and Prahlad, and where's your Krishna? Is he in the pillar? And so where was Nrsingadev when all the little kids needed protection from Bhavananda and Danadar and Yashodanandan? Where was Nrsingadev there? Where was Nrsingadev there? Where was Krishna then? Where was Balaram then? No protecting the kids then. Oh, no. Too busy on Venice Beach helping the mentally ill lady hand out some books. That's where Krishna was. That's why the kids were molested. Krishna was too busy at Venice Beach. He couldn't expand himself into another Krishna to help the children in the Gurukula. He was too busy with the Harinam down in Venice Beach. Give me a break. These people make me sick. They make me sick. You people make me sick. You fucking Hare Krishnas make me sick. Blaming the kids. It's their karma. It was their karma that they got molested. They must have been demons in devotee bodies. Or their parents. Or what's... It's disgusting. The shit they have to come up with to justify their crap. They have to come up with shit to justify their crap. That's how fucked up they are. And then figure out a way to say, well, the pure devotees fall down, but they're pure, but they're great, but sometimes they fuck up and they molest little kids, but most of the time they're not, but sometimes they are. And we're not sure, but we think we know, but sometimes we don't know, but it's scientific. That's one thing we know. We know it's scientific, but it doesn't always work, even though it's scientific. Because you could be 83 and you might fall down, and it's not our fault. I mean, what did we do? We didn't do anything. We're just following Prabhupada's books. we're just following Prabhupada's books. You know the ones that we get. You know the ones in the shopping cart down at Costco in the box. Yeah, those books. Those are the law books for the next 10,000 years. In case you were wondering where the law books for the next 10,000 years were coming from, they're coming from that shopping cart down in Costco, down at the Costco parking lot and at the DMV. Those books that the mentally ill patient gives you at Venice Beach, the mentally ill lady that walks around and she hands out books. Those books are the law books for the next 10,000 years. Would you believe that? Who would have thought? Who would have thought a mental patient in Venice Beach would have the law books for the next 10,000 years and handing them out freely to everybody? Hey, you want a law book for the next 10,000 years? Right here, I got it. I got you. I got you covered right. I got you covered right here. Can you imagine that? Something as important as the law books for the next 10,000 years? You can get them from the crazy lady down in Venice Beach. Problem solved. Hey, the world's problems are solved. Just go talk to the crazy lady down in Venice Beach. She'll hook you up with a book, and your life will be sublime. From then on, you'll start chanting, and then you'll be happy. And the next thing you know, you'll be in India milking a cow, and you'll be Devamrita Swami's disciple or something. Oh God. Anyway, I think I've talked long enough for this one. I'm going to go back to the drawing board, look for some more videos to share with you. Hopefully deprogram some more of you people out there, because I know more and more Hare Krishnas are watching the show now. More and more Hare Krishnas are actually coming, and they want to know what's going on. They're like, hey, this guy, I see this guy's, what's this guy all about? And it's, yeah, I'm about telling you how you're in a fucked up cult. That's what I'm about. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. And we're going to expose more of this cult, so people can know what they're getting into. And then if they get into it and they already know, that's on them. But a lot of people don't know. They have no idea. It's a big scam. It's a bunch of bullshit. And I'm here to let people know. So I want to thank you again, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, like, share, and subscribe. Please have a great day, great night, great morning, great afternoon. Thanks for all the emails. I'm getting so many emails. Thank you so much for the emails. Have a great day, great morning. Have some great luck. And please stay out of a cult, everybody. Bye. Oh, yeah, and here comes the closing credits.